Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I have a full-on review for you. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Ambient Soft Glow by Hourglass. I have tried this foundation already for a few days now. I even have my notes. Every single day that I tried it a little bit differently, and I'm going to share with you my experience with it, how it looks, how it wore throughout the day, when I used it, and just all of the details that you would hopefully get from a review. I want to forget anything, and I have footage too, so that way I can show you how it looks outside, how it looks at night, you know, just different. I did the whole review, okay? I did the whole review. I'm telling you guys, I am back on my videos, and whenever I start, I don't stop and I go all in. So I want to tell you about this Hourglass foundation. I was really interested in it because the description of it seemed really nice, a soft glow foundation. And the foundation also comes with a huge range of shades. So the shade that I got is 5.5, and I will let you know, this is not my perfect match. It does look a little too warm for me. Initially, I thought I grabbed a neutral tone. For some reason, I guess I chose warm. And 5.5, just so you know, is a warm tone shade. So if you're anything like my skin tone, I would recommend going a little bit lighter or just getting a different undertone. And 5.5 I thought was light, but you know, it's just a little bit too warm for me. It still works for me. I blend it down all the way to my chest and stuff. It does match my shoulders, but it is a little bit warm. So I'm gonna talk about day one whenever I tried it. That was the first day I tried it on a video. I did a first impression on it. If you didn't see that video, I will link it up there, but you will see the application of it. I did use a sponge on one side and also the brush on the other side. So I'll just kind of recap that video a little bit. I did apply one side with the Beauty Blender, which I preferred because it just blends it out so much easier. Although in that video, I did apply a lot of product. I wasn't sure how much I was gonna need. I felt like one pump wasn't gonna be enough. And it ended up being like a little bit too much. So the Beauty Blender side, it just blended it out a little bit easier, a little bit better, just because it does pick up some of that product. And then on the other side, it also blended out really easily, no streaks. I did use a brush, and this is my foundation brush. It's a little bit ugly now, but it is the Jaclyn Hill Real Techniques brush, and that's what I always use with my foundations. That's my favorite one. I saw no streaks. It blended out really, really easily, and I felt like it did give me maybe a tiny bit more coverage because it doesn't pick it up like the Beauty Blender does. But overall, both of them applied really, really good. So no issues with either one. I'd use it with both. You know, it just applied really, really good. And on that day, in that video, I also showed you how it looked outside in the sun, which looked so, so pretty. It looked very glowy and the coverage was great. It looked good on my skin. And then I also have some footage of just me being inside right in front of the window, and it also looks really pretty. So happy with the application and happy with how it blended out, and also just how it looked throughout the day. Although at night, it didn't look that great on my forehead. That's where I think I applied maybe a little bit too much product. And because I did that, I just feel like it kind of looked a little cakey, especially up here. I don't know why up here, but that's what happened. It could have been me blending out, I don't know, bronzer over it or something. But I just want to let you know that at night, it seemed like, at the end of the night, it just seemed like it was too much product on my forehead. Maybe I just did apply too much there and it didn't look that great there. So just keep that in mind. Less is more with the foundation, 100%. For sure. And I will say that I feel like this is a medium to full coverage foundation. So it does cover up redness. I have redness on my cheeks, I have redness around my nose, and it did cover that up. It just looks really, really nice on my skin. And on that day, I did use the Rare Beauty primer. This is a pore filling primer, and it worked out great. I do want to show you the different primers that I used because sometimes foundations don't work well with different primers. So I just wanted to try it out with different ones. Not only did I try this with different primers, but I also tried it with different powders just to see how it wore. So that day I used the Laura Mercier powder, and by the way, this one is a really nice powder. It's talc free. It's the new one from Laura Mercier, and it feels very lightweight on the skin. So just so you know, this was the combination that I used that first day. Moving on to day number 2, I did not use a pore filling primer this time because I wanted to see how it looked. So I just used a serum and also my sunscreen, no primer. Sometimes I apply foundation with no primer, so that day I did. And I also knew that I was gonna go out at night. We went out for dinner. We actually sat outside, so I was able to see how this looked throughout the day and also at the end of the night while wearing it, for a few hours outside, because we were at dinner maybe like 2 or 3 hours. So that gave me a chance to really see how it would look outside. This time I knew to use way less product, and I only used about 1 pump, and I also just used it with a beauty blender this time because that is my preferred way to apply foundation. So this time I just applied it with the beauty blender, less product. It looked so nice. It looked a lot better than the first time. So even though it did give me a really nice finish and really nice application the first day, the second day was even better, which is why I say you do not need a lot of this product in order for it to give you coverage and in order for it to look good. So I have my check-in the last time, or the only time, because I just wanted to show you at the beginning, and then at the end it is at 9:47. So all those hours being outside, I mean, it's not like I was doing anything crazy, just having dinner, but just so you know, we were outside. And it looked great. Also, I live in Houston. It's very humid here, and no fading, nothing coming off, no sweating over it, nothing crazy like that happened. So the foundation looked great that time. All right, so for day number 3, I also did not use any primer at all. And this time I also filmed a video. I did a full day of just wearing it. And I filmed my home goods haul video, and I also decorated my background. So that took some time, and it also took a little bit of sweat because I do get tired really fast, but I wore it throughout the entire time that, I was filming that video. And then of course I have my lights. I filmed a video. I was walking around like crazy, back and forth, moving things around and redecorating my background. Oh, and that day we actually went to the pool. So I didn't get in, but just being outside again in the humid weather, and it was a really nice day. But we did go to the pool, and we were just eating outside and stuff. So I wore it throughout that time. I do have a check-in that was at 7:50 p.m. and I did the same thing as far as the application goes. I didn't use too much product, and I set it that time with my original Laura Mercier powder. So this one right here, which is actually my favorite one, my go-to powder that I completely love with all of my foundations. That's the one I used it with on that day. So not only did I wear it throughout the haul video with all my lights on, I also wore it while decorating the entire background. Then of course wore it throughout the day outside while we were by the pool. And then I didn't even take it off until like 2 in the morning, because that's the time everybody left. So that was actually a Friday, and it was a really nice day, a really long day. And that's the time that I ended up taking it off. Again, it looks really great. It did not fade whatsoever. Even if I have my hand like on my chin, or just being outside, it did not fade. It looked great, and my skin looked really, really smooth like it does right now. And of course I'm wearing it right now, so this is how it looks. I just applied it maybe 3 hours ago because I filmed a ColourPop video. So if you haven't seen it and you want to see the makeup look that I'm wearing right now, I actually use the Clay It Cool palette and this collection right here. So if you want to check out that video, it should be up already, but this is the makeup look that I'm wearing, and I am wearing that foundation. Today though, I set it with my Milani powder. This is the one that I used today, and still looks great, set really nicely. I used a different primer though. This one has been one of my favorite primers for a while now. This one is the ColourPop No Filter Primer. Very, very moisturizing, and it's very, very smooth on my skin. It also works out with a bunch of my foundations. I don't have any problems with it, and so I wanted to try it with this one because this is the one that I use a lot. So yeah, it looked great with it. I also used my Huda Beauty concealer today, so this is how it looks. It looks really, really smooth, and it gives me like this full coverage without feeling full coverage. Most of the time with foundations, even though they're full coverage, I always have to apply a little bit more around my cheeks. I mean, not always, because some foundations are really full coverage, but the majority of the time I always go over my cheeks right here because it gets a little bit more red. With this one I don't. I just feel like I apply it and I kind of spot it everywhere, just so that I can make sure that I'm applying the foundation everywhere, getting the product everywhere, so that I don't apply too much on one spot. And it covers up my redness so good, and it just makes my skin look really, really, really soft. So looking at it online, for sure I could have gotten a different shade that might have worked a little bit better, but I do want to read the information that it gives online, and just to give you a description of that versus like what I experience with it. So it does say that it is a weightless liquid foundation that delivers buildable medium coverage with light diffusing effect for up to 16 hours. I'm not sure about the light diffusing effect, but for sure it's a medium coverage to full coverage though. For sure I do feel like it covers up my redness really good, and it does look full coverage on me. Like, and I don't even apply that much anymore. The first time I did apply too much, but now I'm not applying as much, and it still gives me that nice full coverage effect. It does say that it is a natural finish, which I do agree. It's not completely matte. It does give you a little bit of glow, but not too much. Okay, so this is what it means by light diffusing pigments. It says that it delivers a natural self-focused finish and helps protect against blue light. Then it says blurring spheres, minimize the look of imperfections, fine lines, and wrinkles. I mean, I don't have a lot of fine lines, but I do have some, and they look good. Like, they don't look like they're creasing. I don't know about the diffusing part. I really don't see anything like that, because I mean, it's a foundation. It's still gonna be, you know, your skin is below it. But for sure, it does not crease on my fine lines or anything. It doesn't look weird. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look anything like that. And then it just says that it has white tea extract, vitamin E, and antioxidants. It's vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. And let's see, what else? I mean, it does talk a lot about minimizing the look of imperfections and making the skin look smooth, which 100% it does make your skin look really, really smooth. Trust me, my skin is not perfect, and I do have redness on my skin. I say that all the time. I also have fine lines, and I don't know, my foundation just looks really smooth. I feel like this is the one that I am just wanting to use, not even just to test it out, but just to wear it. It also says that it is transfer resistant formula, resistant to humidity and sweat for flawless looking coverage that stays in place. Even though I wasn't planning on testing it for that, it just happened that on those days I was doing something that could make me maybe sweat, or maybe with the humidity for sure, because I was outside for 2 of those days. So it just happened that it worked out for sure for me to test it throughout that, and I do feel like it works. So those were all my demos. That was my long wear test of the foundation. I wasn't even gonna do it for this long. I was just gonna do it 1 day wear test and then do kind of like a review of it. And then it just happened that I wasn't able to film the review. I was doing other things. I did film other videos, but I hadn't gotten to this yet. So I'm like, it's perfect because I can still do a wear test and tell you a little bit about it throughout the days that, you know, I didn't film the actual review. So for sure, I have no complaints for this foundation at all. I do feel like it's really nice. The only thing is that I could use a lighter shade, but I'm making this one work. It does match me like on the rest of my body. It just doesn't match my chest at all, or my neck. So I do have to like bring it down a little bit more, but I don't have a problem with that. I do that with other foundations, and I do that all the time, so it's fine. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I do have dry skin. I have dry skin in the majority of my face, so I don't consider it like combination. It's completely dry. So just so you know, it does work really good with dry skin. At least with mine, it just worked out really great. I also feel like it looks really nice on camera. Like, it just makes my skin look really even and just really nice and flawless and all that. So I'm really liking it. I feel like this is going to be a foundation I'm going to be reaching for. So yeah, that was everything. That was my experience with it, my wear test. And let me know if you have tried it. Let me know if you have the same experience as me, or if you're thinking of trying it now. And that is pretty much it for the video. It was a little bit long just because I wanted to show you the different check-ins and tell you a little bit of the different days that I wore it and how I wore it and all that. So I hope you liked it. I hope it was a helpful review. And that is pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe before you go. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. I for sure was running out of breath throughout the outro.